there's a million of these stories.
Yeah,
so
we won't do it.
Move on, Mario.
We're the only group who'll get these kind of road stories
Look,
from.
look,
Because
this
they
is-
had a lot more fun than we did.
This is children, this is adolescent, out of control rock behavior. I'd like to hear how the grown-ups did it.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. But let me tell you something. Pop and I, we only threaten to pull those pranks on this shit. But we talk about it and think about it all the time. These toilets would be overflowing like hell if we had it our way.
It's a prerequisite for rock bands. That's
Right. You wouldn't be sitting here talking to us right now because we would have been banned by Star Vista a long time.
There's some Sly and the Family Stone stories that I'm not going to get into. I mean, well, one, in New York, when we were really crazy and young, we were up on about the 50th floor, and Larry Graham was right next to me, and I came out and I said, Larry, I want to come over to your room. He goes, no, man, we're 50 stories up. So it was bricks and one brick on, so I climbed over to his room, 50 stories up, and he goes, man, he goes, don't do that, man. He goes, because if you fall, you're going to be dead, and I'm going to have to live with it the rest of my life. So I got up there, he ran, opened the door, and said, you're going out of this door. Stuff was crazy back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's all.
I
Thank
can
you.
still scooters at night, so if you're waking up with a low battery, that was me.
We do not condone the actions of our artists here at Star Vista. All right, well that took a left turn. Okay. I have a question for the entire panel here. Obviously, we have years and years of experience. Some of you, obviously, with the current group, some of you did your own solo things, some with other acts. What is one of your favorite experiences performing in general? As far as a live performance, what is one that sticks out in your mind as just, this is a pinnacle moment in my career? We can start down at the end.
Specifically about...
It doesn't have to be, no. We just want to learn about you as an artist.
Well, my favorite was when I first joined the band, when Jerry Martini called me, and he says, yo, Blade, this is Papa J calling. I'm like, hey, Pops, how you doing? Well, we're getting ready to put the band together, and we're going to go do the Montreal Jazz Fest. You know, no, not the Montreal Jazz Fest. It was the North Sea Jazz Festival. So this was in '04 when he called me. And I wasn't ready to join the band yet because I just moved to Las Vegas and I was trying to get my feet in. Fast forward to 2006, he called me back. Yo, Blade, it's Baba J.
That's me.
Are you ready now? I'm like, yeah, I am. So that's when we went to the Montreal Jazz Fest. That was my first show with them. And I've been with them since. And that was one of, I guess that's one of my favorite ones. It was big. We had us and Maceo Parker and the Neville Brothers, and it was a big festival, and I was just, yeah, this is cool. And it's been like that ever since for me, you know.
And Maceo Parker also, Maceo introduced us, he goes, it's come to Family Stone, all of them stones. That's Maceo, he's my hero. He's the funkiest man on the planet.
Real quick, Mario, but the flower power is the shit. It ain't nothing like coming out on that pool stage and seeing all this and more up there and just dancing to the music with us and loving it and the interaction and the energy. So when you see the energy on stage, particularly me, I'm working off my bandmates, so we just up there loving everything. So we love all you guys, we love Star Vista, we love the Flower Power cruise every year. So keep coming back.
Thank you. Have a long evening.
Marita?
So my most important performance was probably 2011. I'm born in Romania and I was invited by Garona Jazz Festival to play with my own band. And that was pretty amazing. And regarding the family stone, I think probably 50 years Woodstock and Bethel Woods, where I sat in with the band the first time. Yeah.
She got a Grammy last year, you know. She can play.
Big.
Oh, is that me? Yep. Here. The audience is here, and the generation that you all represent and are part of should be an example of how important and enlightening and empowering music is. Because people don't really feel that way right now, and it's ironic that they don't, because we kind of need them to. I think this music, and if you listen to the lyrics of it especially, they're great reminders of the values that you all espouse, and that is, we are more alike than we are different.
I think the first time I saw Jerry was when Sly and the Family Stone came to my junior high.
1918.
And this was in Oakland, California. And when we saw the band, we all sat there together and we said, this is what we want to do. And that started my whole career. And I ended up playing with so many people because of this guy right here. He's like, what? You got me about 10 years, but I'm gaining on you. But I got a chance to play with a lot of different people too, with Commodores and Tina Marie and oh man, it's just a slew of people. And I just am really grateful for the chance to play the music that I started playing in the very beginning, that I love the most, which is our music, you know, Sly and the Family Stone. Like, they all lived up the hill for me. So I used to go and learn the music, like with your mom, and with Larry. I still play with Larry Graham with Graham Central Station. And it's just been a wonderful trip just to play all this wonderful music. And what makes me happy is to see everybody else out there happy while we're performing.
Okay, well, prior to getting in the band, I used to travel around with my dad as like an assistant. So we used to get in a lot of trouble together, and that was like super highlighted. And the first year with the band, I got to travel with my mom, and we just did like a lot of different type of bonding. You know, not like the regular daughter-mother bonding, but like just on like a music level, and it was just super enlightening. So I think those are the best parts.
Your mom was waiting for you to get old enough to play with us. That's
I was young and wild.
She tell me all the time. You know, that was her dream, and that she didn't last so much longer than that. But she got to be on the stage with her daughter and travel around, and it's all good, you know.
Her mom was one of my best friends from junior high all the way up. We used to sit there and play all the time together. And when they would come home, she would say, "Jimmy, what are you doing? Every time I see you, you get better and better, right?" And I said, I was trying to make sure that we could, you know, that we were playing things right. And so, like I said, it's so wonderful to be here, because if it was not for Cynthia, before she passed, I was there with her, with Fun and Jerry. And she said that Jerry asked her, well, who are we gonna get to replace you? And she said, I don't want anybody there to replace me except Jimmy McKinney.
He's a trumpet player too, you know.
Yeah.
He only has one lung That's why you don't see a trumpet on our stage, because I'll never hire another trumpet player. If Jimmy plays all the trumpet parts on the keyboards, that's why it sounds like a horn section, you know. But nobody will ever be next to her. You
know. Sorry, guys, I'm a little deep over here. What was the question, Mario? No.
Significant performance
Right,
in your life.
significant performance, because no, it does. But I want to say about Miss Cynthia that I just because she stuck out in my head when I was a kid, because I liked Sly and the Stone, and she was the chick in the band, and I was a girl in this band. So I always thought she was so cool. And then my husband, when we got together, we both had Love of Family Stone, so that was our thing. And he has had a crush on your mama since he was like 4. And we actually got to play with the Stone before Cynthia passed, and I thought this man would come unglued. And I was like, buddy, you need to tone it down. And I'm like, and she was lovely to him, but he was like a puppy. It was so embarrassing. Anyway, there was a lot of mutual love for your mama from me and my husband. About that. So, but my favorite time ever, it was just a little kid time, and it was because, so we're famous, and so a lot of perks come with that. Our favorite movie at the time was Oliver. And we saw that 27 times, and I was in love with the little Oliver kid. And then we were doing a craft music hall. They were these variety shows back in the 60s we'd always be on. And they had Jack Wilde, who played the Artful Dodger in Oliver. That's pretty cool. Now we have the kid from Oliver coming, so I decided I'll have a crush on him instead. I mean, it was just like, you know, whatever, the pickings were, whatever. So we got to sing with him, and then he and his family hang out with our family, and he had a brother Arthur, and they were trying to get in the rock business. But it was just pretty amazing to be sitting there singing I'd Do Anything with the Artful Dodger. Because we're little kids, guys. I'm just a 10-year-old kid. And I go to a movie on Saturday, and now I'm sitting next to the guy in the movie singing with him. That was weird to me, and it still is. I don't get it. That was my funnest time. What, my love? Oh yeah, Jack Wilde was only 16 years old, and we, God knows what everybody was really doing, but nobody was doing anything in our house. And this kid, he went down into our rehearsal room and he was smoking a cigarette.
He lit up a cigarette.
And man, we were like, this kid is the shit. We were like, where's God? We wanted him to see him because we knew he couldn't tell him not to. And we were like, Anyway, that was my, that and Johnny Cash was pretty cool. And Dean Martin was nice. Anyway, Bob? Dean Martin was the nicest man ever out there. Go back.
This isn't Dean Martin status, but when I was 10, me and Bill, my brother Bill, we had a duo, and we were quite good as young children like that. And we got booked. This is going to be the first time I'm going to get paid. As we got booked to sing at the Newport, Rhode Island Women's Guild Luncheon. Because we were cute kids, and Bill could sing Where the Boys Are by Connie Francis. That was a big moment in our duo show. It was. And so we did this duo thing. We're singing Baby Blue and rock and roll, and songs you don't know, Wayward or Wind and stuff, duo stuff, Beverly Brothers. And we got $10 each. Now, this is like $1,000, this is like $100,000, okay, for us to get. It's the first time we made money, and man, we talked about it all afternoon, that $10. And you just go down to this candy store, and we had the classic penny store, and you could get a ton of stuff. And but boy, I think Bill's the one that said, man, we can make money doing this. And we're on our own, really. As a 10 and 12-year-old, we're still on our own in the family. I mean, Dad's in the Navy, and everyone's out for themselves, and we're all trying to help each other get through a lot of stuff. But we found a business model here That was going to work real good.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. If we're going to get into hootenannies and folk music, we can do all that. Then, I mean, the Beatles are like 3-4 years away, and it's all going to start happening. But we made money. I mean, I made $10 as a 10-year-old, and I thought, you know, this is going to work.
Dude, I had no idea you were responsible for my life career like that.
Well,
So thank you, really.
we made money. We had never
We
made
can
money.
make money doing this.
I heard Bob was going to make $10, and when he came home, I asked if I could borrow $5. Because he was the money man.
That's a lot of money, $10, man.
Dude, anybody had money in our house when we were kids? Like, if there was somebody who had money, we were all stalking their door.
And I remember Bill got a $10 bill and I got 2 5s. And at our age, you know, I'm thinking, I got 2 bills. He only got 1.
Good. So what stands out in my brain mostly is that we were headed and we're going to be playing at the University of Colorado. So we head there, and all of a sudden we're pulling up to the gates, and the president of the class is there, and he's going like this to shut the bus down. And so he comes and he talks to our dad, and the guy goes, "Listen, we're going to pay you, but we don't think you should come and play tonight." And why? Well, they've got a big plan of throwing bubble gum at you guys, you know, when you hit the stage. And so, look, we're going to pay you, but we don't think you should come. And so the dad gets on the bus and he goes, "Hey, here's what's up. We can either do this or we can do this," you know. And we all went, "Oh, we're going to do the concert. Is it double bubble?" Yeah. That was good to go.
We were excited. We're like, what? We're getting free bubble gum?
And so we decided we're doing the concert, and the president guy goes, "Well, whatever." And so we all went out there, and all of a sudden, stuff is hitting the stage. So we have Mom and Susan leave the stage.
But I'm picking it up as I go.
Yeah. And then we did Tommy. And at the end of Tommy, they were all standing, and you know, everything was right in the world. But that sticks out.
Incorporated the bubble gum.
I guess my most memorable moment was, I'm originally from Philadelphia, and I grew up in Philly, and I played with a lot of the recording artists in Philly, and I played with a lot of recording artists. So I've kind of figured, well, you know, I think I'm kind of getting it together. But anyway, I moved to Vegas, I met Frank, I met Blaze, and we all started basically hanging together. And Frank and I did have that discussion as to what band was it that did it for you. So I had the memory of always going down to the Spectrum in Philadelphia Stadium to see Sly and the Family Stone. And we would go early so that we would get there before anybody was there, just to even just see how they set up. And when we saw the white amplifiers across the stage, I mean, it was the show unto itself, right? So anyway, that was the band for me. So Blaze calls me one day and he says, "Hey man, how would you like to play with the Family Stone?" And I'm like, "Yeah man, get out of here." And he goes, no, I'm serious man. Why don't you want to play with the Family Stone? I'm like, "Oh, come on man, be real." He goes, no, I'm serious. So finally it settled in and I'm like, are you for real? He goes, "Yeah." Because this was the band for me, okay? So anyway, I said to Blaze, "Well, okay, cool, I'm definitely down." I'd say to my wife, "Blaze just called me about playing with the Family Stone, and if it only happens one time, I'm good." So anyway, I say to Blaze, I say, "So when do we rehearse?" And he says, "You don't."
I remember that.
He says, "You don't." He goes, "I'm just sending you the material, learn the material, here's the flight information, and be there." So, needless to say, here is the band of all bands for me. And I didn't even get a chance to even rehearse the music, but I knew the music, you know, because I mean, this was the stuff I came up on. So anyway, I remember getting on the plane in flight and just anticipation of what it would be like when I landed. So we were doing this gig in Florida, I think it was St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg.
And so anyway, I'm coming down to baggage claim, and I'm in the anticipation of what it would be like when I, and I'm coming down the elevator, and I see Jerry, Rose, and Cynthia sitting there. They're all waiting for me. So you can imagine the feeling when I'm coming down and I'm seeing my heroes, the legends, waiting on me to show up. So anyway, they received me nicely and whatnot, and I'm trying to be cool. So we go into the next day, we go in and we really didn't have, we were playing with Toto. Yeah, Toto. We were on the bill with Toto. And so we really didn't get the full sound check thing going on. So anyway, we jump into the gig and it's electric. And I'm looking around and I'm saying, there's the Family Stone. I mean, these are the people that, just shake me up, And again, everybody had a crush on Cynthia. So I'm looking over there and Cynthia playing and Rose and all that. And I'm like, oh man, I can't believe it. So anyway, the gig went well. I might have got a little bit ambitious on a solo, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, we all go to dinner, and I'm sitting right across from Cynthia. And I'm like serious fanboying right now. I'm like, and so I start asking her all of these questions, like, so what was it like when y'all did this? And what was happening when y'all did that? And tell me about when y'all did this. And the thing about what's so cool about Cynthia is that she was just so real. She just cocked her head back and looked at me and she said, what is this? She said,
Say it.
I'm not going to say it. She said, what is this? A fucking interview? And I'm telling you, my heart dropped and I was like, oh, I had one gig with the Family Stone.
Security. She says to Jared, we gotta find a new guitar player. Not have this kid die.
But to make a long story short, she became my heart. And we were so close and so tight. And there's not a moment that when we get together and play that I don't have a Cynthia moment, you know what I mean? And so the culmination of the biggest gig, I think it was, when we all played Glastonbury. And we played the Glastonbury Festival, which is one of the biggest festivals in the world. And on the bill with us was P-Funk, George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic. And we played together. And the irony was, Kanye West was on the other stage playing, and once we started, everybody left his stage and came to see us. So there we go, that's my story.
It took me only 3 minutes to hire them. I was just saying the 60s was really good stuff.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a similar experience, joining the band for the first time, of course, and meeting, playing with Jerry and Cynthia together, and all of that was already just an honor for me. But the biggest, moment for me that meant something was when we got to play the 50th anniversary of Woodstock, the original site, in 2019. Because for me, that's how my journey starts with the Family Stone, is watching the movie Woodstock for the first time and seeing that electric performance and pointing at the TV and going, that's what I want to do. And all those years later, I'm literally doing exactly that. So, there's no better dream come true than that for me.
Hey, he might have a greater dream pretty good, don't you think so?
It's pretty good.
I taught him everything he knows.
I like to know how he digests these symbols.
Very slowly.
You talked me into restarting this, man. And blessings to him.
Yeah.
Good man.
My friendship with Papa J goes back into the 90s, when the internet was sort of a new thing and we were able to connect that way, which was, already like, fantastic for me. He loved my funk band I had trying to make something happen in Vegas, so.
Home cooking.
Yeah, so we developed a friendship from that, and then, a decade later, he was gracious enough to offer me the, drum chair in the band, so here I am.
And what a great audience you folks are, you know?
Are the best.
You guys weren't the way you were. We wouldn't play as good there. We would just like, play.
We'd all suck.
Just like that. All right, this question is for anyone on the Family Stone, a culmination, but we're very curious about the recent documentary. Does anyone want to speak about the documentary?
Sly Lives, yeah. It's on Hulu, and her dad is in it. Fun is in it a lot, and you can check it out by Questlove, you know, the guy from Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Drummer from Roots.
But anyway, yeah, man, check it out. It's a good documentary, and
I saw that documentary, and you gotta see it, guys, because boy, you get information that you just feel so proud to know. It's crazy. But yeah, you guys did a great job. Fun. Holy Macaulay Pacoli. You're such a beautiful person, and you rose above all the craziness, you know, to have your feet planted firmly on the ground. So you're beautiful.
Actually, fun. We were talking a little bit ourselves about that, and you know, you were saying like, you know, they filmed a lot of interview footage with you. Obviously, they, you know, just took bits of that to include in how they edited the movie together. But was there something significant that you know, had mentioned that maybe didn't make it in the film?
I was talking way too much. I just talk too much of my business. I don't know.
I'm getting.
they grilled me for 13 hours in Sacramento, at Questlove and Joe Patel. They got almost 1/10 of my book. That's not out yet.
Sorry, Pop. I get emotional about it because Sly is our hero, all of us. And this young lady saved her father's life. It's not an exaggeration. Appreciate it.
I love you, John. We are the Family Stone, folks. We are no family. I don't think I'd be alive if I didn't keep on
And that's
doing
why they're so good. That's why they're so good, you guys. Just don't know.
I will say that I do truly feel like a family with these guys. All these guys are not only amazing musicians, but they're actually good people. And you know, I could call any one of them up and borrow some money. So, you know, I love these guys, truly.
I'm going to Venmo and Zelle right now.
We got two families up here, folks.
Yep, we do.
We got a real family right here. They're brothers and sisters, and we've been playing about the same times. And I love you guys.
We love you, God, you know we love you. I'm out in front of you freaking I feel like you're the Beatles. I feel like a chick watching the Beatles when the Stone are playing on the pool deck. I never got to do that, so it's cool.
I got to meet them.
Oh, there you go.
I was playing in Rome in 1965 with a cover band, and they walked in, they were going to kick them out because you had to wear a suit at this place, you know.
They were going to kick the Beatles out of a...
I have a picture with the Beatles. Yeah. Anyway, they were going to kick them out. They didn't know. It was Italy, and you know, they were 20 years behind. And they were. When I went there, we were doing like, you know, the mashed potatoes, you know, those dance. They were still doing the twist. And anyway, we were there and they came in, and during the break, I went over and talked to him. I was like, that was the biggest year. I was freaked out. And I talking to John Lennon, I said, man, I never thought I'd get to meet you. He goes, well, you never know who you got to run into. That's John Lennon. And Ringo, I said, my drummer's got your picture up on the wall. He goes, I don't know what for. He's got the better foot than I do. You know? And George Harrison said, I didn't talk to Paul because he was dancing with a beautiful hooker on the dance floor. Okay, that's the end of my story.
All right, really quickly going down the line, obviously two outstanding families here, the Family Stone, the Cowsills. What is your favorite song to perform in front of audiences just like this? Going right down the line.
Does it have to be our band? No, yeah. Everyday people. We are all everyday people. I'm an everyday person. I'm an everyday people. So when we play that song, it's true. It's true, everyday people.
I like it. You're the leader of the band too, Blaze is the leader of Family Stone, you know.
Known leader, now we all know.
Just call me the traffic cop.
He's a musical director.
We go to the music, correct. Musical traffic cop, because the music we do is, we try to keep it as authentic as possible, the way it was recorded back then. But I don't have to direct these guys at all. These guys know what to do. You know, Papa J is doing his thing. I mean, we all just look at each other and just take it all in. The vibe that you guys bring us, all here on the sea, and we just do our thing. So there's not much musical directing for me. It's more, all right, we got a hard 60, guys. We got a hard 70 minutes over here. I'm watching the clock more than anything, so that's what I'm doing. So I love what I'm doing. I'll never change it, and I'm grateful.
You're doing way more than that, Blaze.
You're modest. All right, Frederica, favorite song to perform?
For me, I actually have two. One is Hot Fun in the summertime because I get to play the actual original string lines. And then Higher because I get to battle swing a little bit.
It is a battle. Hot fun in the summertime.
It's Higher for me. We get to do anything we want and it works.
Boom, laka.
My dad did like this interview for some award a couple years ago. They came out to the house and they asked him what was his favorite song, and he said, "Thank You." And I was like, "Mine too." He's like, "Ah!" So I would say Thank You, and then especially now because I just love how the guys brought up, you know, Badass Brass, the Cowsills, and everybody else came up there, and then just the energy and the love. So definitely Thank You.
Forget about it. Actually, I like all of them, I really do. And it's hard to make a choice on that because I was lucky enough to be part of all that. And kind of the sad thing in a way is that you haven't heard even 1/10 of the stuff that we know, you know? So listen, you have to tell the bosses that we have to do more gigs here, okay?
Okay, Hot Fun. Of theirs, Hot Fun, but of ours, I'm sorry. Well, I really do love that song because I was in school, you know. When rock bands sing songs with words that little kids relate to, like in school, all a rock band has to say is out of school or in school, and the kid is in. So that song meant everything to me. Our songs, geez Louise.
We had 4 hits, Susan.
They're a great band, yeah. Great
Thanks, Jerry, for picking up that slack. Okay. I'm going to register with We Can Fly. It's a good time.
I like, my relationship with most of our songs is very, I'm talking here.
I'm talking to Jerry, so it's Jerry's fault.
I'm very comfortable with, we've been doing them for decades. But Hair, just for me personally, each night is a bit of a wrestling match. And I'm okay with that. Not every...
Putting this back together, I've had several versions of the Family Stone, and unfortunately, a lot of times the person who becomes Sly thinks he's Sly, and he's not, you know. And I'm not going to go into that much, but this combination here, it took a long time, but this is the one. Right?
It is beautiful, and we all know it.
Frank got me into it because I was ready to just walk away after a couple of things that we don't need to talk about. But Frank said, "Well, let's do it, man," you know. And plus, his mama's a good bass player too. She came on the cruise last year.
Yes, she did. She misses everybody.
Yeah, she went to Las Vegas. Okay.
Well, actually, Papa J, I have a question for you. Now, as many of you know, Joe Johnson typically runs these interviews, and he actually gave me a list of questions that he really wants to know from the panel. And so, Papa J, one of his questions here is actually asking you how it was back in the day when you were first touring with Sly, with the original band. How do you have just one of those stories that sticks out in your mind as this was an amazing tour experience for us?
It wasn't an overnight success. We didn't make it until after we played live on Ed Sullivan, and then we released Dance to the Music. But before that, Sly's father, we call him Big Daddy, he drove behind us. Sly and I drove the equipment truck, a big old one with a B3 in the back, and we drove across the United States playing a lot of our favorite gigs. And Sly's father drove the station wagon behind us, and we drove all across the United States playing these crazy gigs. And plus we were an integrated band, and there's a whole lot of the United States that really didn't like that, you know, especially with me with my long hair. We went to one motel, and the guy said, oh, we got a place for yo. He looked at me and Greg and said, y'all gonna have to sleep in a truck. We had, and Larry Graham, Greg and I crawled into Larry Graham's room to sleep on the floor. So it wasn't all this like, yay, yay. But after Ed Sullivan and Woodstock, of course it was, but getting there, it was...
Toronto Pop Festival.
What was that?
Toronto Pop Festival.
Oh yeah. And in Canada too, there was a huge festival that was bigger than Woodstock. You know, I remember most of Woodstock. Woodstock was funny. It was supposed to go on at 10 at night, and they only have one stage, and you have to tear it down after each show. They didn't have, like nowadays, you roll one stage on. And the sound people were all on acid, so we didn't get to go on until 3 a.m. And you know, we were really tired, but once we looked out and there's 500,000 people there, it kind of wakes you up a little bit. That's all. Thank you very much, I love it.
I love it, I love it. All right, fun. This one is for you. When, how should I phrase this? When was the first time you realized that, oh man, I am really a part of a famous family? Like, my parents are like amazing. And like, as a little kid growing up, was there a point where you just realized this?
It was like a gradual process. I knew something was going on because people would act crazy when you mentioned like my dad's name, so I would just mention it like it random people at the grocery store just to see like what's going on, you know. And I would like point my mom. Well, she played the trumpet. Like point my mom out, and she's like, "Don't tell her that I got rollers in my hair." But yeah, I knew something was going on. And then of course I seen them on like albums in my mom's collection, or I might see a show on television, and I was just like, hey. This is weird.
It's weird.
Well, actually, yes, moving to the Cowsills here, one of the questions that Joe wrote down is actually a pretty unique one. He wants you to tell us about any pranks or little tiffs or scrapes you guys had, and he particularly mentions when you were on the road in the early days at a Disneyland hotel. Yes, that one story.
He's
looking for food out the window. You guys take it.
Chicken out the window.
Well, now Paul, you know, younger brothers sometimes, you know, they're running the show more than older brothers. You know this. So this wasn't Disneyland. This was, I know what story he's referring to. We were having chicken on our balcony on the top floor of the Century City Hotel.
Century Plaza, yes.
Okay. So below us was the world. Okay. And look, we're just talking. I don't think we said, hey, let's do this. I think we just started doing it. But as we were getting through the chicken, we started tossing the bones down onto the ground below.
Yeah, the key was we couldn't use any utensils. We had to use our hands. and we sit there.
We started a contest is what we did.
So we eat this, and literally we just throwing the bones off the side, not realizing that limousines were arriving down the road. All these people that didn't have a canopy, and all of a sudden, man, our door knocks. Princess, me and Bob are praying. We're doing acts of contrition and everything that it isn't our dad that's on the other side of that door. And, but yeah, it was a hoot.
But to be honest, this only started a career of what can we put out the window.
It got crazy.
It was not like whoever came to the door and they got in trouble and they never did it again. It was like, wow, this is a new thing. And I mean
ice cubes.
Ice cubes.
We would get to a hotel,
French fry.
and it was the City Squires, you know, on Broadway in New York, and what we do, every hotel we would pull into all across the country, we'd run to the ice machine, and then I would look, and I'd look in there, and I'd come back to Bob, and I go, they're flat.
Yeah, not good.
These
They're
aren't
not good.
cubes. This is like shavings, and so yeah, we would just.
Because we're going to drop these on people.
Yeah.
Now we are dropping them on people.
But then we found out that, I remember we heard that if you drop a penny from the Empire State Building, you can go through somebody's head. So I think there was some worry that we started thinking we might like hurt people.
Well, we started sending one of us down to the sidewalk. No, we did. This turned into a real sophisticated game. When you're on the road and you're not allowed to get out of your rooms, you do this crazy stuff. So we'd send, Paul would go down, or it was my turn to go down, and you get close to the corner where we're dropping ice from our window. We needed a corner room too, that was always good too.
That's right.
And we'd drop the ice and just try and get close to hitting somebody, you know, with all due respect to the penny and the Empire State Building. And the guy down there had a real good angle on how close you did get, you know, and what was the reaction of the person. But this is terrible stuff. I mean, if somebody looked up and we hit him in the eye, our careers are never going to go.
Well, that's true, because we were actually, Bob's twin brother Richard was with us at that time, and so we were all down by the pool in Shay's Lounges, Bob and me and Susan, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear somebody scream, and she's got...
Yeah, we have packed the house in here. Well, folks, welcome into our Q&A session. As you can see, we have a ton of chairs up here, but you know that we are about to fill it with some amazing talent. Am I right? Yeah! All right, so first up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Cowsills. Wherever you like. You can mix and match, because right after them, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Family Stone! Come on in. We've got some stools in the back too, if anybody wants those. If you want the bird's eye view. Oh my goodness, we're filling this stage. You better believe it. Come on in, watch your step. We don't have insurance. I'm sorry, I said that out loud.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
It's the wrong ear. It's the wrong.
Thank you, Mario.
There you go. What did I get myself into? All right, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise for the Cowsills and the Family Stone. We got two stools back there.
Check 1, 2.
All right. All right, first off, everybody, thank you to each and every one of you for being up here. Thank you so much for coming this morning. I know it is tough to ask musicians to wake up early in the morning. But everybody in this audience not only appreciates all of your amazing performances, but they appreciate you being here this morning. Am I right?
For those of you who are writing our checks for this, my last name is spelled S-T-E.
And his real first name is not Swang, so get with him after this, okay?
All right, so how I always...
I have a first question.
Oh, you have a question?
I do.
Okay, all right.
What the hell time is it?
Ship time.
Ship time.
Oh yeah, okay, there's a whole new time that's been invented since I left home. There used to be Eastern and Central, and then we went, but now we have a thing called ship time. We have a fourth time to worry about.
No shit.
And I woke up what I thought to be was 9 o'clock, and I've got all this time, and I'm blow drying my hair at 9:30, and my husband goes, "What time do you gotta be there, babe?" I go, 10:30.
Just like that.
And he says, "It is 10:30."
My watch says 10 o'clock.
So anyway.
Just curious.
All right. So for our first question, I always like starting off as a wonderful microphone check, just in case someone doesn't know you on this ship, which would be amazing, because obviously every single person on this stage we know and love. But let's start down at the end. Tell the folks who you are, what you do for the band, and how long you've been doing it.
Good morning, everybody. What time is it, Susan?
Ship time.
Ship time.
Ship time.
No ship.
My name is Blaze Sisson. I'm the bassist for the Family Stone.
How long have you been?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We've been with you for 40 years.
I was a mere infant when I joined the band.
Since 1980, Blaze.
This year marks 20 years playing with the Family Stone.
Outstanding. Frederica?
I am Frederica Creer, and I play violin with the Family Stone. And I joined them for the cruise ships the last 3 years.
I'm Swang.
Yes, you are.
I've been with the band for 8 years, or 6 if you neglect to mention COVID, which we prefer to do. So I'm working on year 7 in quotes.
My name is James McKinney. Play keyboards for the Family Stone, and I've been playing forever.
No number necessary.
There is no number. And I love playing this music.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, joining us, let's hear it for Fun Stone.
I didn't change my watch, did you?
This is musical chairs.
Yeah, I wasn't on ship time, guys. Sorry.
So what's so funny is that you sat in the perfect seat because that person was going to go next. So now, Fun. Tell the fine folks who you are, just in case they don't know.
My name is Fun Stone. I'm the daughter of Cynthia Robinson, the original trumpet player of Sly Family Stone, and Sly Stone himself.
How long have you been with the band?
Susan, you're so funny.
How long have you been with the band is his second question. You can copy off my paper.
Since 2014? Yeah.
That's pretty close. It's good enough, right? She's been with us since she was born now, because her mother was with me for 55 years. Her mother told me that she couldn't wait until she got old enough to play with us. So that's a fact.
And who are you? Why are you talking?
It's my line, Swag.
I'm sorry.
But Papa J, introduce yourself to the folks so we can give you a thunderous round of applause, please.
Yes.
I'm scared. My name is Jerry Martini, a.k.a. Papa J. They call me that because I'm old, you know? And I'm the band daddy, kind of, and I love what I do, and I've been playing this music since we started the band in December 1966. I'm only 82, and just 1.5, you know, and if you keep together and do your steps and everything, you'll live longer, probably, you know? But I want to keep playing, and I just love what I do, and I love the audience that's here, you know? You make me feel like playing more. I'm going to live another day at least, you know? Every time you guys...
Because they're having chicken.
I have my Italian family over here, the Portugallo family over here. Hey, Dom. Forget about it. I love them. You know, they adopted me about 20 years ago when I was in New York. I have Italian heritage, and I couldn't find, nobody would claim me when I went to Italy. I couldn't find a Martini family. So the Portugallo family did. They brought me into their family, and I love them. And God bless you. Oh, man. Anyway, it's just, I'd love to continue playing these songs. We know a lot more than what you hear. We could play 4 hours without, because, and so I have over 300 songs that we never recorded in a book. We never got a chance to record it, but somebody has that book somewhere. But I've known him since, we played together since we were kids. We used to play with Joe Piazza and the Continentals, you know, who is that? And anyway, I recorded The Swim with him. His first gold record was The Swim with Bobby Freeman, and he was 19 years old. And we kind of grew up together, and after all this, here we are here, just representing Sly and his music, and we love playing for you.
We love you, Bobby, man. You better believe it. All right.
Hey,
When did you join Family Stone?
I joined the Family Stone in my swimming pool in Santa Monica, so I think it was 1968 when Hot Fun came out. When did Hot Fun come out? That's when I joined the band. I would sing along and be in the band from that point on. But I realized it was actually logistically not going to work out, and I already had my own family band, so I stayed in that. I am Susan Cowsills, and I have been in our band since 1967, I think. So that's a lot of years. You didn't go to school, so I can't do the math for you. But you do it, and you'll figure it all out. I was the last to join, yeah, I think I was. I think you were in. I think he was in before me, like a minute. I don't know. They dragged Paul and I in at the last minute. Things were getting desperate. So anyway, I love being a Cowsill. Needless to say, there's no choice in the matter. So, I mean, it's my last name. That's all I meant by that. And I'm going to turn it over to my brother Bob, who's been in the band longer. Here you go, Bob.
I am one of the founding members of the Cowsills.
Sorry, I should have said that.
I was 7 years old. Me and Bill, we did. No, I'm serious. By the time the Beatles did, I mean, Jerry said 1966, these guys came onto the scene. We had been dropped from I was 16, already dropped from 2 labels, and we had 3 flops that we put out that did nothing. And these guys are going to come out, you know, with Dance to the Music.
We're really old.
Hit it out of the gate, you know. But anyway, so I've been in the group for 68 years, I guess. I don't know. You know, I never quit. You can't quit your family.
Nope.
Very difficult.
Nope.
And even if you do, you're just going to get back together.
Yep.
And even if you quit your group, family group, and you decide to record again, you're just going to call the family up again. So you're just never going to get away from the family group if you're in it. And we never did.
No, we never did.
I mean, we did solo stuff.
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah, but all our solo stuff sounds like us.
Yeah. If the Cowsill stacks harmonies,
It's the craziest thing.
Once you're in the
family,
Hey,
you don't get out.
And who's that guy? Or are you done with your big story?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm Paul Cowsill, and you know, honestly, I've been in the band for 73 and a half years because we've been family forever.
He's been in longer than Bob. This is good. Go.
No, and so I've always seen myself as a part of a family instead of part of a group. And I was always the 6th man off the bench. If we needed a bass player, then I would do that. If we needed a keyboard player, then I would do that. And but right now we don't need any of those people because we got the best going on right now. So I'm happy to be where I am. I'm out front. You know, I was on those keyboards for a long time, and I would be hunched over, and unlike my brothers and my sister, very hard for me to play and sing at the same time. Seriously, it can be a nightmare. You know, and then when violins and all that started showing up on my Roland D50, and Bob was going, hey, we need some violins, and we need this. And man, I'm beside songs, and I'm trying to patch these things in, and singing at the same time, and I'd have a boom, and I'd go up and down and up and down.
You'd look over in the show back in those days, and Paul was either singing or playing the keyboard. But not often at the same time.
It was very hard for me, but the bass was good to sing with because it was just 4 strings, and I can handle 4 strings. 88 of anything, I can't handle it. So, but yeah, and of course, I love all of you people. You know, by now we are all just friends. You're not the audience, and we're not the artists. We're all friends. I mean, although I might not know everybody's name, I can look through here and I can tell you who is new on this cruise. I can tell you that. But yeah, and happier than a P and S to be a part of all of this, and yeah, it's been a long journey, no doubt about it.
Moving back to some Family Stone there in the back. Same questions.
Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Nate Wingfield. I'm the guitar player for the Family Stone. I believe this is going on my 19th year with the Family Stone.
I'm Frank Klepacki. I'm the drummer for Family Stone. I've been grateful to have been with this band now since 2008. And actually, one thing I'd like to share real quick is that Nate and myself both met years ago in Las Vegas playing together. And when we first met on our break, we asked each other, who's your favorite band? Both of us said Sly and the Family Stone. And we are playing with them all these years later, so it's wonderful.
And I never saw a guy eat a cymbal in my life until I watched Frankie.
I have
important as our own hits to us, honestly.
Thank God.
But I gotta tell you, and we don't do it in the show right now, we've done it in the show, but there's a song that Bob wrote called Some Good Years. And I cry every time I listen to that frickin', and even after I found out why he wrote it for like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, and wanted to know how it was gonna feel when you retired, you know, but I didn't know all that, and I'm thinking he's telling our story, and it made me really cry.
Never should have told us about Kareem.
Well, there's this song, Some Good Years. It's online a lot because a lot of people use it to do, you know, high school reunions, family reunions. It's that kind of song. Because I thought Kareem might use it on his retirement video, Wide World of Sports, which we used to watch back then.
Sports is
I never
very
got into
important.
Kareem, and I changed the lyrics to just to be general. But one of the comments online is one of the people that used it were thanking Bob Cowsills for never suing any of them up there on YouTube for using the song.
Hey, we could go sue him?
Nah, we don't care. You want to use our songs, go ahead and use them. You know, it's just...
I did. I told you that.
Jerry says it costs more to sue him.
I sampled Hair on an early record that I did. Everybody was trying to sample back then, so I sampled and I didn't pay you, and I owe you about 40 cents.
Dude, wait, Swain comes up on the last boat, on the last cruise, and he comes up and he's been circling me for like a few days. He comes and goes, I gotta talk to you, man. I gotta talk to you. I feel really bad about something. I gotta talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And he unearths this thing about him sampling Hair and how guilty he feels and should he tell Bob and Paul and all this stuff. And I'm like, buddy, he was sincere. He meant it. He was worried. You are cute. I was like, Swang, it's okay, man. And he was like, thank you.
That's why my kids had to go to public school.
That 40 cents could have changed their life right there.
But he was serious. He felt you wanted that out of you and on someone else because you were carrying that weight of that 40 cents.
What do you got, Nate?
I'd say my favorite Family Stone tune is "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again." Basically because, for one, the sentiment is there, and for two, that's when funk music turned the corner. Sly, they put together this syncopation puzzle, I think that everybody is still studying to this day. Thank You is it for me.
Yeah.
As someone who's always just been a huge fan of that catalog of music, it's hard for me to narrow it down. I love playing all of it, but my mood changes from week to week. So I'll just say this week, my favorite song to play right now is Sing a Simple Song.
Frankie and I, we argue sometimes. We don't argue in English. I always say, shut up!
I think we should go now.
We're digressing into Looney Tunes.
It's time to wrap it up here. We have now gotten to impressions. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Cowsills and the Family Stone! We thank you guys so much, seriously. Now, as normal folks, if you do want to have something signed, you can head right out of that door. You are allowed to have up to one thing signed. Yeah.